Great awakening, light lords, and grand rising to those who have not yet awoken, to know that there are parts of the body that are not yet understood. And once we find out the reasons for these parts of the body and why we have certain parts of the body, we'll actually get more in tune with our natural human being. And us becoming more in tune with our natural human being will actually lead us into the kingdom of heaven, into the kingdom of God, into the kingdom of being God and walking with God and being one with God. Okay? Because we all know that we are God, and that's all that we can be. We have certain parts of the body that modern science deems as non-useful or something that is not needed. But according to epigenetics and environment, we can use deductive reasoning to know that whatever environment we're in, our bodies adapt to that environment and gives us everything we need to survive in it. Okay? So us having these certain body parts means that we need them in our environment, in our specific environment. Okay? Now the three body parts I'm going to address today are the appendix, wisdom teeth, and male nipples. The reason I'm addressing this is because these three body parts are widely misunderstood. And most people don't know the reasons. Most people don't know the reason for even having these body parts at all. Okay? So, once we know the reasons for these body parts, we'll actually come to an understanding that these bodies are beautifully made. These bodies that we have are devices. These bodies that we have are devices. It's like the most advanced technology that we've ever experienced. And when we get more in tune, once we start to know the actual mechanisms of this body, this beautifully made human structure, this anatomy that we call the human body, we can start maneuvering it more thoroughly and more consciously. And by maneuvering it more thoroughly and more consciously and unlocking the actual abilities of what this body can do and becoming more conscious of what we do on a daily basis using these abilities that the body has through its different mechanisms and organs and glands and hormones, then we can actually start to manipulate the reality around us. We can actually start manipulating matter and physical structures in a way that seems similar to what you would see in a comic book or what you would see in a movie or any type of depiction of a fiction or what you could think of as fiction anyway. Anything that you can see in your imagination will start to become more possible for us once we understand ourselves. That's why all of the ancient texts, all of the ancients say, know thyself. And when you know thyself, you know God. And when you know God, you enter the kingdom of heaven. And when you enter the kingdom of heaven, you live in peace and bliss everlasting. Knowing that everything you go through, whether you're up or down, knowing that everything you go through is for an overcoming process. It's for betterment. It's to experience more. To experience creativity. To experience your own creation. Constantly and beautifully. It's an amazing adventure. Now let me get into this First, I'm going to start off with the appendix. And lots of people recently, lots of people just now, started finding out about it publicly. They just now, they started finding out about what the appendix is for. At first, people really didn't know what it was for, so they would just get it taken out because of appendicitis, the appendix swelling or whatever, and they didn't know why, and they didn't know, what it's for, what's the reason for the appendix, because most domesticated animals, most animals, or the vertebrates and land animals, they don't have an appendix. They don't have it because they don't need it. Like our bodies are more fit for the appendix, and you'll know why once I finish explaining what the appendix is. See, the appendix is actually a part of the digestive. It's a bridge between the digestive and the lymphatic system. The digestive system holds all of the food, the vitamins, the waste, or what we call waste, and basically the soil. Basically, it holds all of the food and converts that into soil. And if you're eating anything bad, you're gonna have. If you're eating anything that's meat products or dairy products, then you're gonna have an imbalance in your digestive system. Okay, this is commonly known. So, the lymphatic system is basically a part of the immune system. The lymphatic system is run by lymph nodes. And anyone that knows about lymph nodes, they're like pockets. They're like pockets of immune system cells that like run through your body, run through your neck, your face. They're all over your body, your armpits. They're like little pockets. Okay, they're like little pockets of stations where like immune system cells thrive. Okay, and through the lymphatic system, bacteria are filtered from the blood into it so that the immune system cells can take care of it to create more antibodies and actually produce more white blood cells and things of that matter, dealing with immunity, basically. So the appendix is actually a station. It's a connection between the digestive and the lymphatic system as a station to where when your food gets processed through your digestive system, it takes in the bad bacteria or the virus or whatever that's in your food, and it creates antibodies for the immune system so they can fight against any type of disease, any type of virus, any type of ailment. Okay, so the appendix is actually a lymphatic station. The appendix is actually a station within the body that holds immunal information. Okay, it holds the immunity. It holds information that actually helps to fight off anything that enters the body that you're really not supposed to eat. The reason we have appendicitis, the reason we have like swollen appendixes, is because appendices act similarly to lymph nodes. And when lymph nodes have a lot of bad bacteria or a lot of bad pathogens within them, they start to swell. But see, the appendix being a part of the digestive system, but also encased with and made up of lymphoid matter or lymphoid tissue, once it swells, it can actually burst. Okay, it can actually burst, and then when it bursts, all of this bad bacteria, all of these genetic codes and information, all of this information starts to spew out. All of this bad information that's really supposed to be getting decoded is not getting decoded the way it needs to get decoded because it's being overwhelmed. It's being overwhelmed with such bad bacteria. We just, meat, like we're not supposed to be eating meat. That's what appendicitis is telling you. Appendicitis is telling you that you're not supposed to be eating chips. You're not supposed to be eating like a whole bunch of processed food, meat, dairy, all of that. You're not supposed to be eating it. And what I recommend is you lessening, your intake of it if you're eating it. Lessen your intake of it. Lessen your intake of it. Do your best to try to eat more fruits and vegetables. I don't care if it says organic or non-GMO. First off, I do recommend you eating non-GMO and organic, foods, fruits that have seeds, and nuts, herbs, all of that. I do recommend that. But if you're not in that type of environment to where you can get immediately to that, then I suggest starting off just eating fruits and vegetables, just and lessening your intake of meat and dairy. Because when you keep eating this stuff over and over again, your body is trying to get used to it, but it's not going to get used to it because after so long, you begin to damage. You begin to do irreparable damage to your organs, okay? Irreparable damage to your body, to your mechanism that you are supposed to be using to actually interact with this plane of existence. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some of my research so I can, because all of this information, it actually came to me one day while I was working in the Babylonian system while I was working. And I was thinking, because while I'm working in the Babylonian system, I have my mind focused on higher things. Because, as the great scripture says, the great scripture says, keep your mind set, keep your mind on things in heaven and not on things on earth. And what it means by this scripture, by this ancient writing that I wrote for myself, it means that I should have my mind on other things. I should have my mind on higher things, higher goals, so that what I'm doing now on earth can actually help me get to that level, help me actually experience that reality. Quote, so what I'm going through right now is only a remembrance. It's only a remembrance of what I've went through. My mind is literally in the future always. My mind is always literally in the future, and there's always possible and probable futures that can actually happen. So when you connect your mind to a certain state of thinking, other than just focusing on the certain situation that you're in at the moment, while still dealing with the situation that you're in at the moment, then you will actually bridge that gap. You're actually bridging that gap between your present state and your future, and your what you call your future self. Really, your future self, you're presently in your future self if you're focused on that. If you're focused on the actual end goal or the end result of what you want in your life, you will actually tether your present self to that through quantum mechanics, through quantum physics, okay? Because everything exists through focused consciousness. And this has already been proven through scientific facts. I mean, you can say whatever you want about it, but this has already been proven through repeated experiments that if you totally focus on something and while also dealing with your present self, then those particles must collapse. In my last video, I said, I explained how your brain creates waves, and those waves become particles based on how you focus your consciousness on your reality. And those particles actually pattern themselves up according to how you're thinking and how your quality of your thoughts and how much you think those thoughts, basically. So I just, I focus on these things while I'm working in the Babylonian system to work my way out, to work my way out. And it came to me that these three things, the appendix, the wisdom teeth, and the male nipples actually should be addressed. They should be addressed. Especially the wisdom teeth and the male nipples, because the male nipple is very rarely understood. It's very rarely understood. But anyways, see, your appendix Your appendix is, it assists with. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read to you what it says on some of my research that I've done. It says the appendix has been shown to function as a lymphoid organ, assisting with. Okay, hold on. I lost something. The appendix has been shown to function as a lymphoid organ, assisting with the maturation. The appendix has been shown to function as a lymphoid organ, assisting with the maturation of B lymphocytes, one of the variety of white blood cells. Okay? And in the production of the class of antibodies known as immunoglobulin A, IgA, immunoglobulin A. Okay? So here it is, guys. It's basically right here saying, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it looks backwards. Oh my gosh. But anyways, it's saying basically that it helps with the reproduction of white blood cells, which are the immune system cells in your bloodstream through the arteries and through the rest of the body and through your lymphatic system. And it also helps to produce antibodies. Okay, this is why it's so close to the digestive system or the gut. Okay, the gut is one of the three brains of the body. Okay, so the gut, being one of the three brains of the body, has to take in information, has to constantly take in information. And what the appendix does is it filters this information. Okay, it filters out this information and it stores this information, so this information can actually be replicated throughout the body constantly. Okay, so it helps with the reproduction of antibodies. When people get their appendixes taken out, or they have appendicitis, then they lessen the amount of antibodies or the amount of white blood cells that can be matured, so that the body can actually stay healthy and perform at its peak. Okay, and perform at a peak health. Okay, so what we need to start doing is just becoming more conscious of this and doing our own research, and before we do anything with our bodies, you know, because us just, you know what I'm saying, us just living and just not researching ourselves, not knowing ourselves, not actually asking questions, you know, the who, what's, when, where's, and why's, like all of that, and how's. Okay, all of that. We need to start just asking all of that, and when we start asking all of that, then we'll get our answers, because like I said, what we focus on, it actually materializes and manifests. And when you got bacteria, you know what I'm saying, not all bacteria is bad bacteria. You need bacteria. You need bacteria in your body. Okay? And that leads me to the wisdom teeth. Because a lot of people say they take wisdom teeth out because it's not an evolutionary, it's an evolutionary thing. It's like it's not needed. It's like it's not needed anymore. But like I said, through epigenetics, we know that if it's not needed anymore, then why do we have it? Why do we have it? If it's not needed anymore, then we wouldn't have it. If it's not needed in our environment, then our genes would not activate in our current environment for us to have it. Okay? So they say that we got wisdom teeth. We get wisdom teeth. They come so far back in the mouth that it's hard to get them. You know, it's hard to clean them, and they store up a lot of bad bacteria. But no, see, the thing is about wisdom teeth, they store bacteria. This is the purpose of one of the purposes of wisdom teeth is to actually store bacteria. It stores bacteria, but the reason you have bad bacteria is because of your diet. It's because of what you're eating. See, our food should be our medicine. Okay? So our fruit actually helps clean the body. When you have fruits, very acidic citrus fruits like lemons and lime and stuff like that, you know, oranges and grapefruit and things like that, they actually help to clean bad bacteria from the mouth as you are eating it. So as you're eating this fruit, it actually cleans out your mouth. And the wisdom teeth is like the fifth molar in your mouth that helps you to chew food. Okay, so as you're chewing this food with the wisdom teeth in your mouth, you're actually cleaning your mouth, and you having a more of a sensation because the wisdom teeth are connected to your body through the trigeminal nerve. The wisdom teeth are connected to your body through the trigeminal nerve. And what the trigeminal nerve is connected to is your midbrain. Your midbrain is actually the part of your brain that deals with breathing, any sensory function or motor function, any sensory or motor function. It deals with breathing, auditory and visual senses. It deals with, just maneuvering and just knowing this reality, okay? Just knowing this reality, period. So having your wisdom teeth removed actually inhibits that trigeminal nerve from actually receiving information to take it back to the brain. Because how the brain works is it sends out signals, it sends out a signal so that a signal can return, so that it can actually reformat the data or the information that it received, so that then it can send that, so then it can formulate images. Then it can send that into an image. It can actually make that into an experience for you. Okay? So without your wisdom teeth, you actually have less feeling. You actually have less feeling and less sensory skills. And I'm going to go to the phone right now so I can show you some of the research that I've got from it. Okay? See, the trigeminal nerve is connected to the midbrain. It's connected to the midbrain, the pons, and the medulla oblongata. Okay? So the function of the midbrain, also called the mesencephalon, is the center for motor movement, and particularly movements of the eye and auditory and visual processing. Okay? So your wisdom teeth are directly connected with motor movement, auditory, and visual processing. Your wisdom teeth are directly connected to this, which is why they're called wisdom teeth. And then when this came to me, I was just like, because I didn't have this, scientific information, like this stuff that, so you got to look up and, left brain type of stuff. Because I'm more of a like inspired, teacher. I'm more of a like I get just thoughts, out of nowhere. Like, I ponder on things, and then the knowledge comes like, why are they called wisdom teeth? Like, what are they for? What are they for? And why do people remove them if they're quote unquote wisdom teeth? So there must be a reason they're called wisdom teeth. So when you reach a certain age, and it says that from 17 to 24 years old, you will actually grow your wisdom teeth in. And so when you reach a certain age or a certain type of understanding, your body reaches a certain type of understanding and becomes more new in itself at a certain sun cycle. As you're rotating within this realm, as you're evolving and growing within this realm, then you actually grow a certain set of teeth. You actually go, when you go through this puberty stage, what they say is, 17 to 20 some years old or younger or, older. Then you start to grow different things. You start to actually adapting. You see what I'm saying? You start actually evolving into a better version of yourself. And you grow these wisdom teeth, and these wisdom teeth actually activate more sensory and motor skills within you. So I'm like, why do people get them taken out? Why do people get them taken out? So they say that you get them taken out because it could, when they come in, it could push some of your teeth, together and have them like overlapping or something like that. And I'm like, okay, that's natural. Okay, that's like a natural thing. People are too caught up on this materialistic way of looking at things and have the wrong perception of beauty. People don't accept natural things as just being beautiful the way they are and everything having a purpose for itself. Okay? How do you know that when your wisdom teeth come in and these teeth, push together, close together or whatever, that's because you're supposed to eat a certain way. That's because when you eat, You're supposed to be eating a certain way, and that increases your actual feeling that you get from the food. See, when we eat our food, we're actually supposed to be having sex with our food. We're supposed to be having sex with everything around us. And sex is nothing but sacred energy exchange. Okay? Sex is nothing but sacred energy exchange. So when you have a sacred energy exchange, it means you should be experiencing some type of euphoria. You see what I'm saying? Some type of euphoria or heightened level of awareness through actually engaging in communication with the food that you're eating. So when you're eating your fruits and your veggies and your herbs and nuts, and you have your wisdom teeth in, it will give you a more enhanced communication, a level of communication with the earth, with the planet, and the information that drops from the tree, the information that comes from the ground will actually become more available to your senses. Okay, so when this becomes more available, you actually upgrade in consciousness. You actually become more attentive to what your reality, what's happening in your natural realm, and your natural desires, and your natural way of living, and your natural way of thinking, and you become connected to the all. You become connected to everything that there is. Okay, everything that there is, you become more readily connected to it. So I'm like, dude, that's like, this is like very important. It's very important because the wisdom teeth are connected to this trigeminal nerve. This trigeminal nerve is directly connected through a base called the trigeminal nuclei at the midbrain, which is like the balance between the left and the right brain hemispheres. This is connected to the pons and the medulla. And see, the pons serves as a message station between several areas of the brain. See, it relays messages from the cortex and the cerebellum. Okay, so it relays messages. So without you know what I'm saying, your wisdom teeth, you can't get the messages that the wisdom teeth are actually supposed to be giving you. Okay, the wisdom teeth, it's called wisdom teeth for a reason, because you're actually supposed to gain wisdom from having them. Okay, you're actually supposed to gain wisdom from actually having these teeth, man. See, this pons nuclei, it actually deals with sleep, respiration, which means, perspiring, you know what I'm saying, like, perspiring, just sweating, you know what I'm saying, releasing toxins and letting other vitamins out that the skin needs and stuff like that. Swallowing, helps you to swallow better. Like, really? Come on now. Bladder control. Hearing. Equilibrium, which equilibrium just means balance, period. It means literally like physical balance. Like you can being able to walk upright and, move correctly and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what that means. Taste. So that means it helps you taste better. When you have wisdom teeth, this trigeminal nerve basically enhances everything. It enhances everything. Eye movement. You can look. You know what I'm saying. You can look better. You can see things better. You can see from a farther view. You can move your eyes faster. You know what I'm saying. Be more attentive. Facial expressions. You can express yourself more. You can have a more wide array or variety of facial expressions. Stuff like that. And basically, oh snap, this shit disappeared on my head. Dang, that shit really disappeared. Dang, that's crazy. See, that's how I know this information, man. It just blowing people's minds, bro. It's like when I do certain things, it's always like something that tries to like come and stop it. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, see, it basically increases, the depths of your breaths. You know what I'm saying? Hearing, taste, all of that. You know what I'm saying? All the different mechanisms of actually experiencing this reality. Okay? So facial sensation and posture. Facial sensation and posture when you get your wisdom teeth, it helps you feel. It helps you feel everything. Like I've been saying, it helps you feel more everything. It helps you taste better. It helps you see not see farther, but move your eyes. You know what I'm saying? It helps you move your eyes quicker, so you can see stuff. You know what I'm saying? Faster and stuff like that. So you can be more aware of things faster. Okay, you can be more attentive. It makes you more attentive. Makes you more attentive. Through attention, you actually gain wisdom. Okay, through attention. Okay, it also deals with sleep cycles. Okay, it deals with sleep cycles, and it also plays a role in generating dreams. It also plays a role in generating dreams. Okay, it plays a role in generating dreams, bro. Like, so that means you can even be more lucid in your dream. If you like one of those type of spiritual people, you can actually start being more involved in your dreams. Okay, you can be more involved in your dreams. Man, this is some deep stuff. And yes, this is a McDonald's cup. But it's not my cup, so I don't give a damn. Subconscious programming, man. Shit, this shit ain't programming me. Shit, I don't give a fuck. I'm none of this shit. That shit can exist all it want. That shit can exist all it want. The McDonald's shit, that shit can exist all it want. That don't mean I'm existing with it. I mean, I'm getting away from this shit. So you gotta train your mind. See, your subconscious mind, a lot of people don't know about this information that I'm talking about on this video because their subconscious minds are not programmed to actually even attract this information. Okay, their subconscious minds are not even programmed to even want to even focus on this type of information to help get them out the situations they're in, to help actually learn about the environments they're in. Okay, so I just, you know what I'm saying, like when you look at certain symbols and you look at certain types of stuff that's already set up within your realm, then you just got to think about it in a certain way. You just got to change the way you think about something. Okay, the way you perceive something. It's all about perception. When you change the way you perceive something and you change the way you think about something, then you can actually get the benefits of actually knowing the information and gain more knowledge. And then you can apply that knowledge to your life and create wisdom, man. And then you can teach others. That's what I'm doing now. The only reason I'm out here with my shirt on and is because it's cold, man. It's a fall season where I am. And I'm on my way out though, you know. But as I'm on my way out, I'm gonna apply information to my life and I'm gonna teach. Okay? I'm here to live out and teach higher wisdom as an example for the collective consciousness. And nothing's gonna stop me Nothing's gonna stop me from doing it. Nothing's gonna stop me from doing it. So talking about sensations has gotten me on the topic of the male nipple. Now, this male nipple, not a lot of people know about it. Not a lot of people know about the function. Why is it here? Why are we? Because we know women have nipples, to breastfeed. Women have nipples to breastfeed and stuff like that. We know that women, what I'm saying, they have nipples for their reasons. But why does a man have nipples? You see what I'm saying? Why does a man have nipples? And the reason is going to astound a lot of people. Okay? So, there's 3 reasons that a man has nipples. And all 3 of the reasons are also equally valuable and are also equivalent to the reason a woman has nipples. Okay? But people just don't understand because they're like, a man can't produce milk. They're like, a man doesn't lactate, stuff like that. But I'm going to tell you now, that's wrong. That's not the truth. The truth is, men's nipples are actually made for the exact same reason a woman's nipple is made. Okay, the man's nipple is the exact same reason. It's just that us having more testosterone means that we don't use that function as often as women. Okay, we're not supposed to use that function as often as women. We're actually supposed to be focused on other shit. Women genetically, physiologically, women physiologically have a total different purpose physiologically, like biologically, have a total different purpose than men. Men have a total different purpose biologically than women. But when they come together, they create a balance, okay? And we're actually supposed to be becoming one another, okay? We're actually supposed to be becoming one another. That's why people are born with different genders, different personalities. You're actually supposed, and when you get around people, you get around other people that think like you, but don't have the same type of perception as you, then you start becoming them. And that person starts becoming you when you start exchanging energies. You start having this sacred energy exchange. You start exchanging these energies, and you start actually becoming these people, okay? So what we have to get is that humanity is androgynous. Humanity itself is androgynous. It's an androgynous asexual organism. Humanity itself is actually an androgynous asexual organism, and we are projecting ourselves here from the microscopic realm as an asexual organism through light frequencies, okay? Through frequencies of light that's actually like beaming. Imagine like a movie reel. Imagine a movie reel, and there's these clips. There's these thin layers of clips. You know how the film, the thin layers of clips called the film, and this light is projecting itself. This light is shooting through these thin layers of film, and as the light shoots through these thin layers of film, it makes the film bigger. Okay, it makes the film bigger so that you can see the ins and outs of the film and actually see it as it's flipping through this reel. As it's flipping through the reel, you can actually see it as a motion picture. Okay, you can see the details within that. Okay, instead of it just being one, just one or two or three film, you can actually see it. So it's just the same way on a biological level. There is one being, and this being is asexual. It's an asexual being, but it's being projected. This light is being shot through this thin layer of this thin being, this two-dimensional being, so that it can see the ins and outs, which means it sees the masculine and feminine within that being. So there's really one being. We're only one being. And this is proven through the progressiveness of, through the progression, I said progressiveness, through the progression of the human body. Okay? So once the human body reaches a certain age, it starts to flip. Okay? So if you're a man, when the human body reaches a certain age, it slows down the production of testosterone. It actually starts to producing more estrogen. Okay? People gonna be astounded by this. People are gonna flip the fuck out. And the same thing for a woman. When a female human being reaches a certain age, it starts to slow down the hormone estrogen and starts to secrete more of the hormone testosterone. So we're literally supposed to be living immortal beings. We're supposed to be living immortal lives, changing our genders, slowly changing from gender to gender as just one being, being androgynous, but experiencing completely one gender and slowly transitioning and experiencing completely another gender at a time. This is proven through scientific fact. This is what I got from actually focusing on the male nipple. Like, dang, what is the male nipple for? I got nipples. I'm like, dang, what is a nipple for? So the male nipple, it says that, while some people consider male nipples to be vestigial, meaning that they have become functionless in the course of evolution, which nothing is actually functionless. Nothing is actually functionless over the course of evolution. If you're in an environment, this is proven through epigenetics. If you're in an environment, then your body must adapt to that environment. Okay, your body must adapt to the environment And if you don't need a certain organ or a certain gland or something or a certain nerve or something like that in that environment, you're not gonna have it. That's epigenetic. That's epigenetics right there. You're not gonna have it. Okay. So we can just throw that out the window. Vestigial, that shit is not possible. Like that's point blank period. You don't need it, so you're not gonna have it. If you actually have it and you're in an environment, that's because you need it for some reason. That means your body is actually using it for a function. So it says that is largely untrue. Oh man. Oh. It says while some people consider male nipples to be vestigial, meaning that they have become functionless in the course of evolution, and then in parentheses it says, much like the appendix or wisdom teeth, and that's what I'm talking about. The appendix and wisdom teeth, which were my last two previous subjects, they are not functionless. Okay, they're believed to be functionless because they do not understand the function of them, because they're not connected with their natural mind, because they're not connected with actually focusing on why am I naturally here? What are the functions are all of my bodies? I know it's not functionless. So if you already know it's not functionless, if you already see, thoughts act like webs. When you connect to one thought, it'll take you to another web of thoughts. Okay, so what we should be thinking is, I know that my body, that these parts of my body are not functionless because I have them. And see, you thinking on that level, knowing that your body is not this piece of your body is not functionless, then that basically shoots you, that catapults you towards a thought of how it functions. Okay, instead of you saying, "Ah, man, I don't know the reason, so it don't you know what I'm saying, don't register in my head. I don't know the reason, so it doesn't register in my head, and I don't know the reason, so it must not be a reason," type of shit. If you just say, "I don't know the reason," and since I don't know the reason, there's not a reason, then you're not gonna learn the reason. Okay, you see? So this is basically what modern science has done. It's basically just, okay, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know, so it must not be a reason. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But it actually contains a dense supply of nerves. The male nipple actually contains a dense supply of nerves that function as a major stimulatory organ in both men and women. Okay, as such, it can be considered a secondary sex characteristic, along with pubic hair, enlarged breasts, and widened hips in women, and facial hair, and an Adam's apple in men. The male nipple is no less sensitive than the female nipple. Okay, the male nipple. My wife here trying to distract me from The male nipple is no less sensitive than the female nipple and can contribute significantly to sexual arousal when stimulated. With that being said, the nerve network in the male nipple is much denser, meaning that sensory response tends to be more discrete, which means that discrete means reserved, which means it would be more reserved, which means that it'll actually be it will actually have more of an effect. Okay, it'll actually have more of an effect on men. Okay, so when you sexually stimulate, or like playing with your nipple or whatever, you play with your nipple, is actually more of a response. You'll have more response being a male. Okay, and that's surprising because women are very, very, very sensitive, and they're more sensitive, you know what I'm saying, physically, biologically, physiologically. They have a very, very sensitive traits, you know what I'm saying, so they can actually feel more, so they can be nurturers, mothers, and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. When men are mostly, you know what I'm saying, they're particularly and specifically very like strong and very, very like stubborn, you know what I'm saying. They're just, nah, it's what I say, motherfucker, and that's it. Women be like, nah, think, you know what I'm saying, think from different perspectives. But it's kind of funny that if you like stimulate the nipple, then a man will feel it more. And see, I know that's true because men are more sexual, are basically supposed to impregnate. They're supposed to actually, you know what I'm saying, come. They're supposed to actually have these sexual desires, more sexual desires, and actually attract, you know what I'm saying, women that they can impregnate, so that it naturally is an instinct, is a human instinct. It is naturally a human male instinct for him to want to impregnate more than one woman, so that he can keep his generations, his genes, keep his genes replicating. Okay, this is the point of reality. That's why ancient scriptures say. Be fruitful and multiply. Okay, but you see, you first have to be fruitful. Being fruitful means you got to have the wisdom of this. You have to actually know. Okay, you have to actually know this and apply this information on a daily basis, so that you can actually gain wisdom from it, so that you can teach others, and through that, changing the genetic code of the human structure. And men being that perfect representation of being able to spread their genes through the other half of the androgynous being that I just talked about, we actually have to be more sexually stimulated. Okay, we actually have to be more sexually stimulated and have those sexual desires. Okay, so that's what's so funny about the human nipple. And they say that, you know, okay, well, if that's true, then why doesn't the, you know what I'm saying, why doesn't, you know, the male lactate, and why the male does lactate? Y'all, that's what I'm saying. Y'all are not conscious of this. Y'all are not conscious of the fact that after the male nipple has been stimulated so much, the hormones within the pituitary gland, the pons within the pons, actually send out a signal to slightly decrease the level of testosterone, and equally distribute that same level that are decreasing in testosterone as in estrogen. And this hormone is actually being secreted. The estrogen hormone will actually start to make the man go through something called galactorrhea and gynecomastia. Okay, gynecomastia. Okay, gynecomastia and galactorrhea. Galactorrhea is basically just the abnormal secretion of milk. It's the abnormal secretion of fluid. It's only abnormal because we got women. You see what I'm saying? We got women, so why would we, you know what I'm saying, we need to do that? It's only for that, like in situations where the woman wouldn't be around or something like that. You see what I'm saying? If the woman wouldn't be around, then the man would have to actually, you know, consciously change his consciously change his physiological makeup to actually support the baby, to actually support the child. So he would actually have to stimulate his estrogen. He would actually have to stimulate the woman part of himself. We are all male and female. We are all male and female. It's just you're mostly one. This is genetics. It's either you're mostly one or you're mostly the other, and that's why you grow, because of the certain hormones. You're either secreting more testosterone or you're secreting more estrogen. If you're secreting more testosterone, then of course you're going to look more like a man. You're going to act like more like a man. You're going to think like more like a man. If you're secreting more estrogen, you're going to think like more like a woman. You're going to act more like a woman. You're going to develop more like a woman. And we see this through puberty. Okay, we see this through puberty. Through puberty, a lot of males, they actually start to going through gynecomastia. Okay, gynecomastia is basically just the enlargement of male breasts. Okay, they're called male boobs. Okay, they're just the enlargement of male breasts. And once these male breasts are enlarged, okay, they look like women breasts. It's because you're going through a puberty stage. See, this puberty stage, a lot of people now, they think you're only supposed to just go through this one time. But we're actually, with the way that we're eating and the way that we live, we die faster than we should. Okay, we expire. We expire faster than we should. We're actually supposed to be living hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, over 900 years and shit like that. And through these transitions of us, through these stages, we're supposed to go through more than one puberty stage. We're actually supposed to be going through multiple puberties. We're supposed to be going through multiple puberties as we transition from gender to gender. We're actually supposed to be immortal. We're literally supposed to be immortal. Like to put the you know what I'm saying, put it down on the table, you know. We're supposed to be immortal. We're supposed to be actual beings just walking the earth infinitely. and just, you know what I'm saying, making shit right around this motherfucker, making shit more beautiful, you know what I'm saying, expanding it, building upon it, making great civilizations, and actually experiencing through our own individuality each gender, okay, and transforming from male to female and female to male, back and forth. And that's what this puberty stage is. This puberty stage is actual a tweaking of your hormones. It's a tweaking of your hormones. And a lot of men go this puberty stage, and they experience galactorrhea, and they experience gynecomastia. And see, gynecomastia is they say is an imbalance. Gynecomastia, they say, is an imbalance, but it's not an imbalance. It's just a turning, basically a turning of the wheel, of turning of another hormone. Okay, it's just a turning of another hormone. You got to keep a healthy perspective about this stuff. That's the thing about this subject, because this is a very picky, this is a very touchy subject. Okay, a lot of people be like, nigga, why the fuck I got nipples? Like, a lot of people be like, nigga, why the fuck I got nipples? Nigga, that shit gay as fuck. Like, why the fuck I got nipples? That shit gay as fuck. But another reason of the male nipple, and nipples period, because I'm just gonna stop, you know what I'm saying, stop saying it, because the reason, everybody has nipples, man. Fuck the bullshit. But, you know what I'm saying? The reason for a nipple, another reason for the nipple, is for when you go out in the sunlight, you got melanin around your nipple. Okay, you got melanin in your nipple. You got melanin in your nipple, on the surface of your nipple. That's why it's so dark right there. And it takes in the sunlight and oxygen, and it converts all of that into vitamins and actual energy for your body. Okay, that's another reason for the nipple. When we wearing these clothes, we restrict our bodies. That's why I'm like, yeah, free the nipple campaign. Real shit, free the nipple. And it's not just because I just want to look at nipples, even though I like looking at nipples. You know what I'm saying? I like looking at women's breasts. It's not just because of it. It's because of the actual beneficial physiological function of what a breast does. You see what I'm saying? Of what our skin does. When we wearing all these clothes and we're in our unnatural environment, bro, like, we supposed to be living in a tropical environment, the tropics of Cancer and the tropics of Capricorn, man. That's real talk. And when we in these unnatural environments, we restrict ourselves from actually taking in more information. So we damper our genetic codes doing this. So with galactorrhea coming from the male nipple, is basically what happens is there's a hormone called prolactin. Okay, and how we know that this is actually a normal thing is because all humans have it. All humans have these hormones. Every hormone in your body you already have. That's why you just can't separate yourself like that. You can't just be in the illusion of separation like that. All of the hormones that you can think of are already in your body, ready to be produced whenever they need to be produced. And what happens is when the male breast is stimulated, or when it goes through a certain puberty stage or transition from one gender to the next, or it is being tweaked to actually download more information from its other androgynous counterpart of itself, its perception through the teen puberty stages or whatever, it produces something called prolactin. Okay, most of us, you know what I'm saying, we don't experience the prolactin or the lactation because we're not stimulated. Okay, because we're not stimulated, we're not taught about this, we don't know what's going on. So what we're doing is the prolactin is being secreted, and there's an actual duct behind the male breast. There's an actual duct there already. See, people don't know this. There's an actual duct there. There's a lactate duct behind every breast. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, people are, when I put a status on Facebook, I said, man, they all have a purpose, man. The appendix, wisdom teeth, and the male nipple all have a purpose. And I knew that people are going to be like, what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? So I was like, man, I'm gonna do something Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Drop this knowledge on y'all, cause, and I know a lot of people gonna have their own opinions and their own perceptions about it, but this is objective facts. I'm not speaking just on my own opinion. I'm giving objective facts. This is straight research I've done, and for me connecting with nature itself. Like, so if you talking down on any of the information that I said about in this video, that I talked about in this video, if you talking down on it, saying nah, that can't be true and shit like that, you gonna have to take that up with nature, man. You gotta take that up with your natural self, your higher self, your natural being. You gotta take that up with whoever you think the creator is. You gonna have to take that up with the creator, man. Don't come at me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a piece of the all, man, giving out the information through the Christ, through the collective conscious, through the Christ to the collective consciousness, man. That's all I'm here to do. So, if you have any type of, questions or comments, constructive criticism, all of that, then hit me up in my inbox. I got all my social media pages. I just opened up a Snapchat. I just started me a Snapchat and revamped my Tumblr. I still got to work on my Tumblr. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get this information out through all platforms, as many platforms as possible, and increase the level of consciousness of the collective, man, because we so separated from ourselves, man. That's what I don't like, man. We so separated from ourselves. We don't know what the hell is going on in our lives. And as soon as somebody tell you something new that you're not used to, you have this like cognitive dissonance. And this cognitive dissonance will keep you from learning a lot of stuff and applying the information and actually help you progressing through your life. Okay, you would think you're progressing and you're not. Like, you would think you're progressing just by staying in the same place. And like, I don't get that. We're supposed to migrate. We're supposed to experience both genders. We're supposed to experience both genders. Bisexuality is natural. Bisexuality is natural in both genders. It's completely natural. It's just you got some people that, are more masculine because of hormones. The people that are more masculine and people that are more feminine. And people that are more masculine, of course, they're going to be leaning towards more, heterosexuality. But people that are more feminine, they're going to be more open to, bisexuality. But when you have the balance between both, they're going to be like, well, people that's, people that secrete mostly estrogen, they're going to be like, nah, I don't know, man. I think I want to just be with a man. Then there's going to be people that secrete more, testosterone. They're going to be like, nah, I just need to be a woman. But we secrete both hormones, bro. Like, it's the balance, bro. We're supposed to be balanced. We're supposed to be able to just be open-minded, be able to take in as much experience as we can so we can get information, apply it to our lives, and better the lives of the collective through ourselves by bettering our own lives. So, all this shit is natural, man. Everything I talked about in this video, if you got any questions, just hit me up, okay? I love myself, man. I am Ja Mashak. I am here to live out and teach higher wisdom as an example for the collective consciousness. And I prophesy today that we'll actually start becoming more conscious of our natural processes, our natural physiology, and all the things that we need to be learning about our bodies so that we actually take this information and consciously maneuver ourselves in a way to where we can manipulate this reality like effortlessly, really. You know what I'm saying? Effortlessly. We can maneuver through this reality effortlessly, have better experiences, be more open about our lives, and not, not victimize ourselves. You see what I'm saying? Not victimize ourselves so much. And we can actually be vulnerable but still, be safe because of the knowledge that we know, and apply this information on a daily basis. All right, so yeah. Man, the donation down there is down there in the description. My donation link. All my other social media pages. I don't think I put my Snapchat down there yet, but I'm gonna start putting it in my videos. And just spread this information. Cause we need it. Humanity needs it. I love myself, y'all. I love myself. Peace.
Peace reflections.
All right, peace. Peace.